All right, I like the scrimmage today. It's from a standpoint, it's very physical. Guys tackle well, played well, especially with so many guys being out. I was anxious to see how a lot of guys handled situations. I mean, had tons of guys out that weren't in the scrimmage, which was, which is encouraging too, because you still got a lot of guys out there that are playing, getting experience to do the things they got to do. So we'll wait and see. But the guys for the first part of scrimmage, even though there wasn't a lot of scoring, there wasn't a lot of missed assignments. It was guys really just, all right, I beat a block, I made a play, and I talk about good ball all the time. It's one of the better days as far as you can make a play on the other side when the other side screws up. I mean, you're supposed to. When a guy blows a coverage or misses a block, just as far as missed assignments. But if you beat him physically, that's good. I mean, your technique's good, his technique's good, you win the job. So from that standpoint, about like I thought today would go, very physical. I thought the defense would play very well, because I said we're so deep in the secondary and thin at receiver right now that I thought that would be the case. But it was a lot of good situations, a lot of good physical play, and guys, very proud of. I thought Logan really hit the ball really well today. He punted today like he has the last 2.5 weeks of practice. Like I said, I mean, his technique's gotten better and everything. Ricky missed that one, which he should have made, but then come back with a big 52-yarder and another kick and did a nice job, had a nice kickoff. So in that regard, we got to keep grinding in that part in the kicking game. Again, you didn't see the returners, but we guys caught punts. Guys fielded them very naturally, did the things they had to do, put them in some situations out there and like that. And then, like I said, up and down. And defense did a really good job in the day. Offense had about five times, I think it was, they crossed the 50. We're in that 35 to 45 range where you start to get in points, and I call that gray area. It's very critical how you play on defense. I thought they made plays. Offense just didn't get it in, but it was good plays by defense, and that's good. I'd be rather ahead on defense right now, which I think we are. But if other dog, good physical day. I thought there was a lot of good hits in the day, and a good thing we didn't have anybody come out of the day with anything that would keep them out of fall when they get back. So season-ending injury. So pretty good spring so far. Questions?
Jimbo, the defense, I think, both defenses combined, I think, for like 13 sacks. So for you, what do you take out of that? How well did
but there was a lot of situations and who they were going against, and there were personnel matchups that would never happen. The guys that needed to block, I thought blocked pretty good for the most part on the offensive line. I knew some of those, there were some walk-on guys and some young guys, and you got Frith playing on an ankle that probably shouldn't even have been standing out there. You had about 3 other guys had bad ankles. I didn't think they played poorly. I really didn't. I mean, there were some guys that rushed and got in there, and we can rush up front, but that was not a big issue on the day.
And we ran the ball.
Yeah, I did. Liked the way we ran the ball and the situations that we're in. And like a lot of those sacks sometimes were, as you go back, we had some walk-on wideouts that just not their fault, just weren't athletic enough to get open and making you hold the ball, do some things that caused those things. But running the ball was very good. And overall, I thought we had some good runs, and guys broke some runs, tackled well. Solid day in that regard.
Jimbo, what can you take away from the passing game? You only have 2 healthy.
You don't. I ain't worried about it. I know we've always been able to throw the ball. We'll throw it, and we'll throw it well. And we did earlier in spring and have in spring. So I was not worried about that.
What's your thoughts on some of the tight ends, how they performed in the passing game as well as the
seemed like they caught a couple balls. I mean, I think Izzo had a couple catches there, and maybe ended up with a couple. McKitty, those guys they'll be a good factor in the game. I mean, they're doing some nice things.
I assume it's why you recruited them, but has Cam shown that kind of vision all spring?
Yeah, he's ran that way. I mean, very natural. I thought he and Jaquez really, I thought Ryan Green. I thought Ryan had some really nice runs. I thought Jaquez had some great power runs and inside runs and ran good, and Cam got the chance in space a couple times even in space. I thought he should have pressed the block. I thought he bounced a little bit and should have gotten on more south, but good learn open field running. But I thought for the most part, he caught the ball when he had a chance.
And is he also a kid that will get you the 3-4 tough yards in the middle?
Oh, no doubt. He's strong. I mean, he'll hit it up in there. He and Jaquez and all those guys. And Vickers had a nice day. Vickers had a couple really nice runs, and even saw Neighbors catch the ball in there. And when you get Rasul, when he's going healthy, that'll be a good group there too. He's very talented.
Everyone had like 7 tackles today, a couple sacks. And
had a big hit there. DeAndre made a really nice throw to Henrik, I think one of our walk-on receivers, and caught it for our first down. It was about the 20. He made a big hit and knocked it loose, and was a really good play. I think he had a sack on the day. But, that's a versatility, and that's where he can play. I mean, he can move up, he can play in the back end, and, that's kind of player he is.
About what you expected from him?
Oh, yeah, that's what he's been doing every day.
Coach Derwin hurt himself making a big hit. Is it good to see him making another big hit?
Oh, you can't worry about that, man. Ball. If you have to worry about that, I mean, just go play and let it go. I mean, and sometimes he'll be bruised up again sometime from making a hit. And I don't mean that not to cut you off, but I mean, you can't worry about those things. I mean, that's football. Things are going to happen.
When a defensive player is disruptive as he can be in these types of settings, is it a good thing to make you happy as a coach? Or
Oh, yeah, it's a real good thing. I mean, he's a great player. I mean, and the way he affects things. And right now, most of these games should be lower scoring type games. So last year, we had more scoring, but if you remember, there was a lot of walk-on DBs out there, too. You know what I'm saying? You had some guys that were getting exploited the other way. Now it was kind of mismatched the other way. But and that secondary group is very talented.
This is the first time we really got to see Derwin, and he looked like the old Derwin. Did you ever see from day one of practice? Was he just the way he was?
No, there was a couple of days he had to ease his way back into it, and even in off season and the conditioning drills. I mean, you had to see the quickness come back and all the muscles around the injury, you know, getting them back and the soreness. And there was some day. I mean, it wasn't like he was bad, but I mean, you could see there was still another level you knew he had, and he's really starting to hit that now. He's starting to get back to that. You know, Brian Burns, those guys up, so I Sweat. I mean, yeah, Sweat was, we've had him out all spring, so the second half of spring.
Bailey, obviously his numbers weren't great, but it looked like he shows good pocket awareness.
He does. He moves around the pocket. That's what I say. I like what I'm seeing out of him. You know what I'm saying? And he's got a good arm. He's got real good awareness. Moves. He's very deceptive on how he moves. He's a lot better athlete than you think he is. You know what I'm saying? Because he likes to set in the pocket, but he can move around and do some things. And I thought JJ had some really nice throws on the day. I thought JJ in some third down situations and things when he had, because he didn't have he had more the experienced line was with the other group, and there was some mismatches coming rushing against some injured guys on that side, and he sitting there and made some really nice throws. So I was pleased. I thought both those guys did okay.
Like him and Cam Akers and those guys, how did they handle the stage?
You know, they really did. I didn't, and that's why I like being out there on the field during the day, like those scrimmages, kind of just seeing their eyes in the huddle and who's starting to get starry-eyed. Didn't see that. You know, Kane Doe, you saw him flash Fagan and Stanford Samuels. I mean, Thomas. I mean, they all have kind of fit in. I was very proud of that, and that was part of the reason today I wanted to see how they were going to react. But it was good from them. There was no, I'm in awe. You know what I'm saying?
What was Sweat sitting out there?
He's had a knee, which we said earlier the whole time. I remember we said we rested his knee, and we're going to rest him. And once we saw what he had to do, we just gave him, there was no reason to keep playing him the rest of spring.
No, Wednesday you were very high on Jacob Pugh, now he did. So what was his reaction when he learned that, hey, not only was he the defensive MVP, but overall spring?
I think it kind of shocked him. I think it kind of shocked him. And I think, because, you know, it's funny when you play your best, it's when you start doing everything right and you don't worry about the results. You're not worrying about, you know, what's going on. I'm just trying to do what's right every day. And all of a sudden, when you do that and you have the ability he has, you start becoming a dominant, productive player like he has been, and that's what he did all spring. And I don't think, I praised him a lot during the spring, but I think it kind of shocked him. And I said, you know, it's kind of, it's the old cliche. Don't worry about the results and don't worry about trying to be this, and just go play and do your job. And man, I mean, and you got ability like he does, it becomes and you saw it today at times, rushing and physical and the way he covers. And I mean, even there was a couple tight ends. There was a play early in the scrimmage, I don't know if you saw it, but tried to hit a crossing route. JJ didn't. It was look bad, but what the problem was, he jammed the tight end so good on the line of scrimmage. I mean, something that little, you know, a lot of folks don't see in the thing that screwed the whole play up. I mean, just he's doing every little thing right. You know what I mean? Really staying focused on what he's doing.
How important is he going to be to what you want to accomplish?
Oh, big time. Because he's so versatile. I mean, that guy can go play inside backer. He can go play outside backer. He can stand up and drop. And that gray, when you're talking about throwing those screens and bubbles and all that, and you got DBs out there and blocking is one thing. When you're blocking a body like that, he and Burnsy and them, we did that in games with those guys. You know what I'm saying? And when he started picking it up last year, and then all of a sudden you can get in regular, and he can go dent to power and take the fullback on. And I mean, just the versatility and the pure football knowledge he has can be very critical.
When you play a game like Alabama, how does that help with the offseason?
I think it gets your attention. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't, you know, sometimes guys say, man, I hate training, I hate summer, I hate this. Okay, you better know what's coming off the bat. You know what I'm saying? When you have those, like we did last week, last year, Ole Miss, we had Oklahoma State, and just different. When you have those big opening games, which we've had a lot of them here. Pitt, we played outstanding opponent up there. Remember James's first year? We had Oklahoma State the next year. We had Ole Miss last year, who was coming off, it was preseason top 10. I mean, it gets attention. I mean, you know, hey, I don't need to take a day off in the summer and, you know, not give my best and that kind of stuff, and it makes you kind of dot your I's, cross your T's.
Was that anticipation, like, I guess, in the locker room? Can you feel it yet?
No, not yet. I mean, we don't want to feel it yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you'll get ready to go, and we'll handle that at the right time.
Sure, but what's it say about Cam? I think it was the pass over the middle, the slant over the middle that he caught.
Yeah, low angle route.
He took it on Derwin head on.
Well, he does all the time. Did every day in practice.
And I mean, he bounced off. Now Derwin got him on the ground, but I assume that's good to see from your.
Oh yeah, them goal line scrimmages we had, them guys, them backers, Derwin, but the backers, the D linemen. I mean, all them guys had shots on him, man. He'll put his nose on you now. He'll put his nose on you. He's a football player.
So when they stripped him, is that him need to make a bit?
I have to see it. Again, anytime you strip it, it should. I don't know if he got it down or they got in there. I couldn't, back there from where I could see, and it was a shame because he had a big run. And I think that's one he tried to jump out. So probably should have stuck it a little more vertical and just taken the guy on. But I couldn't see it at the time. But again, anytime you put it on the ground, that's bad. And that's the other thing. We had the turnover, which. Oh, man, I don't know what that route was, but what he was running or what he was doing. But for the most part, the other thing I was very happy on, taking care of the football for the day. I mean, that was the only turnover on the day was the, if I'm not mistaken, on that right was the interception right there, and that was forcing them to go 2 minute. I just wanted both sides to work on it and do what they had to do. But and he stopped on a route, and DeAndre tried to go ahead and make it work, but it wasn't. I mean, I said should just I don't know if you get rid of it, but I don't know what he was running. But that was the other thing on the day, taking care of the football, and the defense was hitting well and making plays on the ball. It wasn't like they were. Sometimes you don't turn it over when there's big plays and guys aren't covering you tight and things like that. But they were doing that, and we still took care of the football. And that's and I'll tell you what, you take care of the football, punt like that, and play defense like that, you're going to score points on field position and things of that nature. And then hopefully our return game will kick in.
Coming out of the spring, how do you feel about the backs? After losing Dalvin, how do you feel about that?
I feel good. We know Jacquez has started 3 games here. Every game he's had over 100, maybe 150. Is that right on all 3 starts? A couple of them are 200 and yardage and caught the ball. So he can go in a game and play and has done a tremendous job as a starter in that role. The young guy Ryan Green's come on good. Again, I keep saying Amir Rasul is a really good player. Vickers, our most improved guy, as a fullback. Tailback, he's doing good. Neighbors, but then Cam coming on like that. So you feel very good in numbers because guys get nicked and knocked, at that position. But for the most part, you feel very good and confident of that group coming in.
It seemed like this game gave guys kind of like Devontae and some of those other guys who may have been injured in previous years a chance to kind of get a chance to play, kind of like Purifoy as well. What was your thoughts on how some of those guys did?
I have to wait and look at the film. Devontae had a couple things. Again, I thought Nooney made some really nice catches. We didn't try to go to him a lot early in the game. Maybe they should have done that more. Whoever's calling the plays had it screwed up, you know what I mean? I wasn't calling them, see? No, I didn't call any of them. So you can blame it on somebody else now.
Odell?
No. Yeah, it was Odell. Yeah, no. But he made one catch over on that side you saw that was phenomenal. But again, staying consistent and making plays like that's one thing, but being a number one and really doing it, which he's starting to emerge into, and the things he can do, and getting Keith. We tried to get Keith in today, and he teaked it, and they could have fixed it. He could have played. I said, "Get him out of here. We'll let him heal up." And that's a shame because he was having a good time, and then Auden. But those guys, it was good to see him in there. And the young time, Maven caught a ball. You saw McKitty catch a ball. He's going to be a good player. All those guys.